Hey y'all, and welcome back to another episode of City Sim Builds. In the previous episode, we finished a good portion of the university over here, and things are looking really good. We added in a lot of sporting complexes associated with university athletics. We added in a new dormitory complex that has a nice new quad. We have a lot of new paths throughout the university and a few new university buildings, and we got this thing to a level 5, and I'm really stoked about that. In today's episode, I want to focus in on two main things. I want to add in a little bit more development over here, kind of like next to the coast and everything, and I also want to add in a tram network. And I'm going to place the tram depot over here. And this is going to, I think, be sort of like a little public works campus in the future. I believe this is a recycling center, and I kind of want to expand this area to have a few more public works amenities. But before we get into today's episode, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please think about doing so. That would really help me out and be super awesome. Also, if you're enjoying the build as we progress today, leave a comment down below and like the video as well. But with that, let's jump into today's episode. Alright, so as you can see, we have a very healthy residential demand as well as a commercial demand, and I want to tap into that and provide some additional housing over here. Additionally, I want to add in a tram depot. So I think what I'm going to do is work on the tram depot side of things and get a tram network established over here in River Pointe. And then we're going to add in a little bit more residential and commercial development. We might even add in some commercial and residential over here where it makes sense with the university. Also, we still need a name for the university, so if you have something other than the Charred Lands University, please leave that down in the comments below. Alright, so I want to go over here and place a tram depot. And what I'm thinking here is, let's establish a tram road. And so this is just going to be something basic. So what I'm thinking is using this 2-lane road with median and bicycle lanes. I think this would be a good fit to provide some additional multimodal aspects to our tram network and increase the bicycle and pedestrian activity of this area as well. So what I'm going to do is upgrade this section of the quadrant roadway. I just want to check TMPE real quick and make sure that did not sever any major connections. And it looks like we might have a few issues here. Okay, and that should be good for that connection. And then over here, I want to do the same thing. All right, and I think things are good here. So we have our straight movements going through. I did prohibit this right turning movement, and then that way everybody that's utilizing these traffic signals will take this part of the quadrant roadway to take their left turns and even their right turns. It's kind of like a slip lane sort of thing. But what I want to do is carry this tram network road over here, and that's going to involve probably me severing this connection with the electrical. So let's use our picker tool, and then we'll get this. Let's actually turn on the terrain here. So what I'm going to do is bring this out 11 units. Let's maybe do 15. And then we'll come over 15. Oh, okay. And I think that's okay for right now. It did not sever that connection. Perfect. And then let's get our tram depot in place. So for this is going to terraform pretty horrendously, but I think it'd be okay. Yeah. So I'm going to soften the terrain here a little bit. And that is not at all what I wanted to do. Okay, that's looking pretty good. And I do want to allow a turnaround location for this. So what I'm going to do is look this way, and I can just continue this straight because the contours are pretty nice and even through here. Then here I'm going to come up 10 units, come over 10 units, and come down like that. And that way we can have a turnaround location if we need to. And then here, I'm going to relocate the recycling center. Let's maybe have this right there. So let's run water over here. Okay, perfect. So now what I'm going to do is go in and upgrade a few roads throughout River Pointe so that we can provide a tram network. And then here, I need to make sure that we elevate that section. I think that's looking pretty good. All right, I think that has most everything covered. Looks like we have a node issue here. I'm going to take care of this real quick. All right, and I'm not seeing, oh, I guess there's one section here. Okay, all right, let's fix that one. Okay, perfect. And now I'm gonna place at least one tram line. We'll see about 2. So we'll have a stop here. Oh, and we have another issue here. Yeah, similar node situation where I probably didn't have node snapping on. So let's take care of that real quick. And that's gonna ruin some of our zoning, but that's just the way it goes sometimes. And then let's carry this down to roughly here. Then we'll meet up here, then there. And then let's make this turn here, then there. Then we'll come back up this way. Then we'll have a parallel stop right there. And then I think I'm just gonna bring this back to the tram depot. Okay, perfect. So we have one line in and our property values are increasing. Excellent. So I do want to get another tram route in, and let's start here, and then we'll make our way over towards the center part of River Pointe. We have a connection issue right here, so let's take care of that. All right, let's jump back into our transit view. So let's grab that line and we'll add a stop in there. And then we'll kind of follow the main street here. Let's add in 3 stops on the main street. And so I think I'm just gonna leave this as being a circulatory route and we'll see how it performs from there. And if we need to, then we can add in another route to hopefully provide more transit service to other locations throughout River Pointe. Okay, so we're gonna come back and take a look at that. So we have a lot of trains here that are getting ready to go. Hopefully the signal will change and then they can go. Oh, I think I'm gonna have to actually change this because it's not accounting for that when I did the signal timing. So let's fix that. All right, I think things here are operating okay, and I'm gonna have to do the same thing over here on this side as well. I'm gonna let the game run at a faster pace here, just to make sure things are operating okay. We probably don't need this many trams, so what I'm gonna do is go through and decrease the number of vehicles on each route. So here, let's bring this down to, we'll do 2. And I'm okay with this being tram line 2 and tram line 1 for the other one. I think that'd be fine for the time being. So jumping back into our overview, we have our first few passengers, which is great. Let's drop this also down to 2. Okay, let's keep this one 3. Because this one does have a few more stops, but yeah, so I think that'd be fine. Let's change the colors of this. I'm gonna do a bright red, and we'll do kind of like a turquoise sort of color for that one. Okay, so things seem to be operating okay over here. So we'll keep an eye on this as time goes on to make sure traffic is okay and that the trams are operating okay. All right, so I want to add in a bit more residential development over here. So let's turn on the train and see what we're working with. So I think what we can do is extend some of the development down over here. And this is a situation where I am going to get rid of this rock here. And now that I'm looking at this, I'm going to change the angle here. I want it to be perpendicular to the arterial right here. So we're just going to come down an arbitrary amount, and then we'll worry about these connections a little bit later on. And then I'm going to go ahead and finish gridding out this area. All right, so now that we have some of these roads in place, I'm gonna build a road that kind of parallels the train track right through here. I think here we're just gonna start off with a segment like that. Then we'll come over there and tie up with that guideline, then tie up like that. Then here, I'm gonna turn off everything except for angle. Maybe we have an at-grade connection there, but then here, I think I might meet up like that. And then let's bring this down to there. I think that should be good. So the next thing I want to get in place is some paths. So let's go over to our favorite zoo path and then place some of these in the middle here. And I think that should be good for this section. I'm not going to do these two little trapezoid looking areas right there. And I do know I'm going to need some city services. So I'm going to place in, I think, a couple medical clinics. We'll do one over here on this side. Then we'll do one over here down close to there. And we are going to definitely need some fire coverage. Put one down here, and then let's do one here in the middle. Now, I really would love it to load on the side, but I think that'll be okay. And maybe what I'll do is add in another one down here. Then our police coverage, I think we're fine. Our crime rate is very low. We have a ton of jail availability, so I'm not really worried about that. And so we're gonna have this park right here, and then maybe what we'll do is reclaim one of these spots over here for a park as well, just like a little neighborhood park. Okay, so let's just paint a tiny little park area right here. I think that'll be good. So we have 3 parks right here, which is really gonna help our Parks and Recreation system out a whole lot. But I think also, just to make this area a little bit more special, I'm gonna place in a couple dog parks. Folks in the game really love dog parks. So I think this would be a good spot down here for one. And maybe we can have a park down here. We'll put this at the terminus of this area. So I'm gonna make this a park as well. Excellent. All right, so I want to get now some commercial and residential in here, mainly residential. So I do want to provide a couple places for corner stores. So I'm going to use the marquee tool and find a few areas where it kind of makes sense to just have like a 3x3 building, something along these lines. We have pretty good coverage. We might have one down here by the park. So let's get some zoning in place for our residential. And through here, I'm trying to keep a 1-unit buffer between the railroad and the houses that will be here. And also through here, I'm not going to zone anything. Well, I guess we could maybe do commercial. I think commercial would be fine. Yeah, I'm good with that. Then through here, we'll wrap up the little bit of zoning that we have left. I think things here are going to be shaping up nicely. So let's get water throughout this new area over here. I think that mostly has us covered. I'm going to extend this down towards the railroad track and then bring it around the curve over here towards our ferry terminals. All right, excellent. So what I'm hoping now is we'll get a little bit more utilization out of this interchange. I'm really kind of baffled as to why we're not really seeing anything here. It seems like everybody is coming down and taking the partial cloverleaf. We do have a few issues within the city, such as death care, and I'm not really sure what else I can do in that regard, because if you come and take a look at our death care facilities, we have a lot of crematoriums and cemeteries, so I'm not really sure how much else I can benefit this. I think it's just something kind of wonky with the game mechanics. I am going to put another crematorium over here, or actually maybe what we'll do is place a cemetery. And I think this should fit in this spot right here. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. Excellent. I'm liking that. And it looks like we still have quite a bit of commercial demand. So I think instead of over here where I have office space, I'm going to place commercial. And it looks like we're dropping students at our university, but hopefully that will change with some of our population. I think for here, I'm going to try to change up the density a little bit and do some high density commercial. Then maybe we can do the same thing on this side of the road as well. That is quite the steep drop off there. I probably should go through and add in some fencing down through here, but we'll get to that maybe in a little bit. I think I can line up here like that. And then I want to go check out our junction here just to make sure we're doing okay. I do want this to be a stop sign. And that's looking pretty good. And then we have water coverage there, so that's also looking really good. And I'm going to extend this road further down, and then I think the other thing I'm going to do is extend this cross section down as well. Oh, and I made that an elevated section. Let's get that fixed real quick. Force this down to the ground. Perfect. And while I'm at it, I think I'm just going to extend this all the way back over here to Rivertown. Yeah, it looks pretty good. All right, so now we have roughly a similar cross section. It is a little bit different here with the grassy median, but I think that's looking pretty sharp. And something got severed here, which I think is our electrical. Yeah, so let's fix that. And that should have us covered. That looks good. Yeah, and death care just seems to be quite the issue everywhere over here, so I'm not really sure what to do about that. We do not have any sort of facility over here for death care, so that could be a problem, at least in this kind of more rural area. So I think I will add in a crematorium up here. So we'll fit that right there. I think that's a good spot for it. It's roughly in the midpoint between this area and then over here. So I'm pretty pleased with that. So a dead person is waiting. I really don't know what to do about this. If you have any thoughts or comments on how to fix that, let me know. Maybe there's a mod I can use to help remedy some of those situations. All right, so I want to take a look at our transit overview, not the recycling center, the transit overview. So 42 passengers and 34 passengers. That's pretty good. Okay, I'm pretty pleased with that. And then what are we getting over here? Not enough goods to sell. Okay, interesting. Let's take a look at our traffic. I'm curious what that is. Traffic is at 81%. That's good. Could be a little bit better, but overall I think that's fine. It's saying there's not enough workers, but I'm not really sure what to do about that since we are maxed out with our residential and commercial demand. In the meantime, I think I'm going to go through and add in some amenities and paths in some of these parks that I haven't finished yet. So we'll come over here and grab this path. That's looking pretty good. I'm mainly trying to just make sure that we have connections through here to all the corners. Oh, and we do have our dog park here. That's going to cause an issue. Let's see if we can relocate this one to right there. And it's funny, it makes people both happy and sad in like the same spots. They're happy that it's moving approximately, I don't know, 100 feet over, 200 feet, something like that. So I'm going to find this corner and come to somewhere here in the middle of the park. And then over here, I want to tie up with this crosswalk somewhere about in here. Then maybe through here, what we can do is just have a weird path connection, apparently. Let's try a straight path through here and see if the game likes that a little bit better. Yeah, that's better. So I think what I'm going to do is just have this come over, come down, and then kind of circle around. Just so there's like a little circular path here. I think that'd be good. And then maybe we can tie in right there. I think that'd be good. And then here, we'll come over this way on the back side of the dog park. We'll tie in like that. Then we can have another connection that comes around towards that area. Then one right there. So a lot of different ways for people to walk around in this particular park. Then over here, looks like we have one little zoning square that I want to get rid of. And I just realized that these are different paths through here, but I'm okay with that. It has some benches and everything, and I think that's pretty good. So I think I'm going to keep these to be straight paths like this. Then we'll come down the middle of the park, do something like that. And then maybe here we can provide another connection right there. And then here, I think we might have a path that starts here, goes down through, and just connects up like this. And then here, I think we could extend this down towards the cemetery like that. And then just provide a couple little corner spots for people to access things a little bit more easily. Oh, not that. Much better, much better. And we can come over here on this side as well. And it looks like we're running into a pretty hefty deficit. So I want to take a look at the budget and see what's going on. So education is our main expense right now at $47,000. I wonder if we drop this down to like 90, if that will help things out a little bit. So electrical availability is pretty good. I wonder if we can drop that down as well. Yeah, we're not getting quite the infill of development that I was expecting over here, but I think in time that will take place. So let's bring this down. Can we do 50? Is that too much? Let's see. It's kind of teetering on the edge. So I'm going to bump this up to 55. I think that's a good number. Let's take a look at our water and sewer. That's pretty close to being on the edge as well. All right, so now we're doing better budget-wise. I want to take a look at our death care. I wonder if we can place maybe a few saunas around. I think that might be nice. put one there. See if we have any other random spots I could put one. I think that'd be good. Let's have one right there. Let's come back over here to Rivertown and see if we can place a few saunas. I think we have one right here. No, that's a small clinic. Okay. Everybody's happy about that. Nice. And it looks like there's some sort of crime issue over here. Let's take a look at that. So maybe what we'll do is find a smaller police station and put it over here. I think that'd be okay. I want to take a look at our other city services. Like garbage collection seems to be fine. We have plenty of garbage processing capacity. Let's see if I can bring down this also to roughly 55. That might be too much for this. What does that do to our water? Okay, that's probably too much. I think we're gonna have to go back up to 60 with this. Yeah, maybe not. Okay, let's go to 60. Let's go back up to 70. I think that's about where we were. So our factories are a big expense. And some of this, I think, too, is just like the industry's DLC just being like all over the place with like production and things like that. Let's check on things over here. So this is looking fine. There's not enough special goods. We're not producing enough plastics. Let's see if we can fit a few more naphtha cracker plant facilities. Gosh, that's like so hard to see. Okay, so somewhere in here. Okay, that's pretty good except for the terraforming, but I think that'll do just fine. And hopefully that will help out our plastic production situation. Traffic and everything seems to be okay over here. So slowly but surely this is starting to fill in, which I'm pretty happy about. And looks like we lost some students last year, but that's okay. Seems like we might be going through like a death wave perhaps. So I want to come back over to the university and see if we can add in a few more roadway connections through here. So I know I want something that comes down roughly like that meets up like that. Then it would be nice if I could get something that could meet here, but I think that might be too steep of a slope for that to happen. Let's try it and see how awful it is. Yeah, 23, 15.5. Let's see if we can slope from here and then come down all the way here. Does that help? 11.2. Maybe I think we just kind of live with that one. So 4.2. And I think this road should be fine because we followed the contours pretty well. Yeah, 4.2. That's okay. So let's take a look back at our transit overview. Yeah, so the trams aren't doing that great, but I think that's a function of we have a lot of bus routes as well. And I wonder if we can eliminate a couple bus routes. So we have this red line, which I think covers most of the area that we are serving with our tram. I think I'm gonna try and get rid of this. Looks like also the purple route might be able to be eliminated as well. And that's gonna make everybody sad for the time being, but I think it'll be okay. We're having power issues. I think I went too far with the budget. Let's go check that out. Yeah. We'll increase this back up to 60. And I think the budget just kind of is what it is for the moment. So we do have some more commercial demand. I'm going to add a little bit more through here, but I am going to extend this road down a little bit further. And then here, I'm going to do low density commercial. And I meant to do high density here, so I'm going to make that change. Except for this part right here next to the quadrant roadway. And then over here, I'm going to add a little bit more residential. Then I think here I'm going to try and have a connection that ties in up here at Rockville Road. And I feel like whenever I do something like this, it's better to come off the main road, find that guideline and tie up. That way we get a nice connection that's roughly a 90-degree angle. And I do not want a traffic signal here, so I'm going to turn that off and change this to be a stop sign. So with the bus route modification, it looks like our transit ridership is going up, and that's a good sign. Oh, and this is interesting. I just noticed this. I do not want people taking a left here. I want them to just proceed through like that. Same thing here. Interesting. Okay. Oh, and we have a cross-section issue here. I see what's going on. So I'm going to just make this one segment right here a 2-lane road, and hopefully that will help us out. But I'm going to go into TMPE and make this change here. And I guess if you really want to, you can do a U-turn there. And really, this needs to be part of the highway section there. Let's see if we can go to node controller and clean this up a little bit. Just kind of square things off a little bit. Oh, and that's not what I wanted to do. But okay, I think that'll be okay for now. Actually, no, I can't. Yeah, I can't do that. I'm just gonna use move it to modify this a little bit. Okay, something about like that. Yeah, this is interesting. I think I'm just gonna have to prohibit this movement here. They'll just have to merge because I do not want them doing that. Okay, now that's functioning the way I want it to. Then we'll make sure cars are proceeding through. Excellent. And we're still not getting any usage out of this area. It's very bizarre to me. Oh, that's why. This is what happens when you don't have node snapping on. So let's remedy this. Okay, I don't like the way this shaped out to be, so I'm gonna fix it completely. See if we can find that guideline, and it looks like we can't. Okay, well, I'm just gonna eyeball this and then tie in like that. Now I'm curious to see if this will fix this area. We'll give that a moment. Are there any other node issues in here? I'm not seeing any. We're seeing some. Yes, there we go. Now I really want to see somebody come off this way and use the roundabout to go around. There we go. There we go. Nice. Liking that. And I might drop this height down a little bit. That's looking pretty reasonable to me. Yes, perfect. It's working. Excellent. That'll ease things up over here a little bit because we are starting to get some increased traffic with the new residential and commercial demand that we've placed on the area over here. And I think what I'm going to do is extend this road further down this way. Then let's see if we can maybe tie in right here somewhere. And then let's actually come from this way. So find that guideline and meet up like that. So what are the slopes? 6.2, 3.9. I'm not happy with what is happening there. You know, sometimes you do have to have that sort of intense cut fill. I'm gonna roll with that for now. I'm just noticing this. Let's go into our node controller and square these up. Okay, that's looking better. And the other thing here is I believe there's a traffic signal, and I do not want a traffic signal. So let's make sure that people can proceed through with both of these junctions. Then down here, I'm good with that being a traffic signal here. Then here, we'll just have a stop sign. Yeah, and for whatever reason, it won't let me select this for a stop sign. Interesting. Oh, and it's backwards. It's backwards. That's why. That'll do it. That will do it. Let's reverse this. Okay, that's going the right way. That's going the right way. Let's try that again. There we go. Perfect. Much better. Much, much, much better. Okay. The quadrant down here is working fine. We're getting some backup here and everything, but that's okay. That's to be expected. And we're getting utilization here out of this roundabout interchange. Pleased with that. Yeah, and we're definitely starting to get some development over here, and our population is on the up and up, and our budget keeps bouncing around. There's not really, I don't think, too much I can do about that at this point in time. I think we're just gonna have to keep an eye on things and maybe add in a few more industries and things like that, but I think that's going to do it for today's episode. We've done a good bit today. We've added in a little bit of high density commercial. We added in a tram system for River Pointe. We also expanded the city over here to add in a little bit more residential. And I'm pretty pleased with how things are turning out. So if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please think about doing so. That would be really, really awesome. Also, if you're liking what you're seeing, please hit the like button and leave a comment down below. If there's something you want me to change, or if there's something I'm missing as I'm recording these episodes, please let me know in the comments and I will try my best to address those. But with that, I think it's going to do it for today's episode, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all back here in Two Rivers County. And until the next one, hope y'all are well, and we'll see you then. All right, bye.